Hi friends, good morning. Renee Keese here with Carolina Creative. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and I'm here with card making ideas for you. Today I'm using the arches again from Everyday Arches. This is going to be the last popsicle, I promise, but I want to show you something really different. I'm really focusing today not on the arches, but on the two-tone paper, and this is something new. So I'm showing you front and back. When you flip this paper over, it has two colors. This is Pretty and Pink. It just so happens I picked two colors to order. There's a whole bunch of colors you can choose from, but pink was one of them that I had selected to play with. So I'm going to use the Pretty and Pink two-tone paper. This is different because it's dyed with two shades, but it's not dyed all the way through like cardstock. Cardstock is colored all the way through. So this, if you tear an edge, you actually see the white, and you can make some really cool effects doing that. I'm going to do something different today. First thing I want to do is take this and run it through my So Swirly embossing folder. So I'm going to put this piece of paper in, and I'm trying to pick a section that has a whole bunch of swirls. So I'm just putting it down in kind of this lower corner. So I'm going to use my gray plate here. I do have the mat underneath it. I'm going to run this through as step one. And I need to flip the camera down so you can see what I've just done. So here we go. I ran it through. And let me put this plate aside. And I'm going to use the embossing machine one more time. So I now have these cool waves, swirls on my paper. Now I'm going to go back and use my two standard plates, like this. And this is where I am going to use one of the medium-sized swirls, and I'm just going to put it over here. Unless I decide, nope, I think I like it the way I had it here. Run it through this way. Okay, so now I'm going to get this arched shape. Okay. There. Let me move this out of the way and uncover what we've done. So I have, move this out of the way too. I have die cut the arch. It has the swirls. Let me get, here's my other pieces. Okay, so I've also picked Pretty and Pink for my card base, and I've got a white layer here that I'm going to put this popsicle on. Now, the new trick with this paper is you can sand it. So I told my husband I needed some fine sandpaper, and this is what he brought me. This obviously fits onto a sander, but it's going to work for what I want to do. I am gently going to sand this raised swirled edges, and what it's going to do is reveal that white core. So it's going to give me not only a two-toned effect, if you saw the reverse side of the paper, but it's going to be pink and white. So I'm just gently sanding this, kind of using, like you see, one finger here, and I'm kind of going with the swirls. Because it's not cardstock, this is still designer paper. You do need to be gentle with it. Let's see if I can get some edges up here, because it'll tear. I was saying you have to be gentle with it. And I got it. Yeah, there we go. I did, when I was playing with this the first time, got a little heavy-handed, just pulling it out of separating the die, and it is easy to tear. So I'm just being gentle, but revealing that white core. I guess I could go back and forth, but I'm afraid that's heavier, so I was trying to just go one direction. Get some up there, some down there. And you see, it does make a little mess, so I've got some dust. I don't want to, it's not like eraser crumbs, but I've got dust here. There we go. Now I'm getting that big swirl. So you can play with this as much or as little as you like. I want to get just a little more. And up at the very top here, because that is definitely going to show. But you get the idea what you can do with this. Okay, so now I'm going to hold it up to the camera in just a second. There's this big wide one here. I think I want more white revealed. Yeah, there we go, there we go. If I focus right on there, it will pop out. Okay, so there is the look of my swirls. Now, what I want to do, I'm going to start, let me just start with the inside so I can work my way up. I'm using a stamp from With You in Mind. I'm using the Happy Birthday. I just think that's a really nice stamp. And I think I'm going to go, this is Flirty Flamingo instead of Pretty in Pink. I think I just popped it right off of my block. It's just a shade or so darker than Pretty in Pink, but I think it'll make a nice contrast. So let me stamp Happy Birthday. And I'll just square that up across the top. And then out of that same stamp set, I pulled out the little cupcake. I thought, well, if we've got a popsicle, why not put something else sweet? So let's do the cupcake, and this is Pretty in Pink. So I'm kind of making that match my card base. Okay, just to make it cute. Now, I will go ahead and glue that in because I'm done with the inside. So let me dot. Yeah, I closed this up yesterday when I was playing with this. So I'm gonna have to get it flowing again. There we go. Dot on some of the liquid glue. That's good for the corner. Okay. And let's adhere this squared up on the inside. Okay, pretty pinks. And this is going to be my base. And then I did die cut again. I just used crumb cake, or that might actually be an old cinnamon cider to get that color. I do think I want just a little more color there. Let me grab a sponge dauber. That'll work. I'm going to use Pretty in Pink so that it does match the card base. And I'm just going to flick on some colors on the edge. Yep, I'm just giving it a little extra something. But I wanted the white just to kind of make this pop. There we go. So, lightly, that's all. Put that aside. All right, and now my sentiment, I'm just using a strip here that I'm going to put on here. I pulled out of Bistro Burger because it had a time to celebrate. This is pretty common. It comes in a lot of different stamp sets, but this has kind of big, bold font. So I think I'm going to use the flamingo again to just make this pop off the front. Time to celebrate. Okay, and then I will flag the ends on this because I like how that looks. Makes it look a little festive. I put that in the trash. All right, so I've got my parts and pieces. I am ready to assemble. Now, I used the two-tone paper and I just flipped it over. There we go, pink and white. Because that really, I mean, so you see what it would look like if I just left it swirled. And that is the darker pink. This is the lighter pink. I'd have had more contrast if I'd flipped it the other way. That just happened to be the way I ran it through the embossing machine. And I do like it. I think it's really cute. So now I'm just going to glue down, here we go, this layer. Make sure I got the edges. That corner could use a little bit more. And I'll square it up. I'll show you another one I did where I put it at an angle. But the popsicle is going to go at an angle. And so now, because of the texture here, I will very carefully, delicately put Stampin' Seal on here. Again, this is designer paper. It's not cardstock. So I do find I have to have a pretty light hand when I'm handling this because it can tear. All right, and did I save myself room to put this under there? I shouldn't have put adhesive all the way down. Yeah, I can get up under there. Okay. She says that she has to peel it even further. Okay, like that. Just like that. There's my popsicle stick, my holder. So now I want to just put Time to Celebrate, and I used iridescent ribbon. I already tied a little bow because I'm thinking I'm going to put a bow on there just to add something else. And let's use dimensionals. Let's pop our sentiment up off that popsicle with a couple, 3, maybe 4. It's just long enough it might need it. 1, 2, yeah, I think I will put a 4th one just to make sure it's supported. Just to give this a little more variation because the colors are kind of monochromatic. After I started playing with this, it made me wish that I had bought a shade of orange in the paper because it would have looked like a creamsicle. The orange and white swirl would have been really cool. So that may be in my future that I decide, yeah, I really want the orange two-toned paper. I think I'm going to put, yeah, 2 glue dots behind this bow to make sure it stays where I put it. Oh, yeah. And because this is iridescent, it's almost a see-through. So that's just a nice, light little touch. Okay, so let me show you this card. Here is Time to Celebrate. With you in mind, stamp on the inside, happy birthday with a couple of cupcakes. Now, just to show you, I played with this yesterday, and I even put a paper behind it. I was looking for shades, multiple shades of pink. And this is the darker side of that two-tone paper. So there's 2 different versions being shown here. But again, you see how the swirls work. So I thought it was a fun way to do another popsicle, but using that new two-toned paper. So there's a card making idea for you today. Check out the two-toned paper that's available through Stampin' Up. If you like the products and the projects you're seeing here, you can find me at Carolina Creative or hashtag Carolina Creative. I'm also on the Stampin' Up network. It's Renee Keese at StampinUp.net. Thanks for joining me today, and stay tuned for that next video. Appreciate you.